Shalom. I'd like to start off first and foremost by giving all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Ruach HaKodesh. Double honors to our elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, rule and teach well. Peace, love, salutations, and blessings to those that are doing this work in truth and in sincerity. This is your brother Nathan Yala from the GMS Camp Atlanta, coming back at you through the Spirit with another lesson. And I pray and hope this lesson is edifying. Okay, now this lesson is centered around Isaiah 4:1 because the spirit of Isaiah 4:1 is really showing right now. A lot of men have been speaking about it, and I know at home, just in my own house, the Isaiah 4:1, and this is with no outside influence. This is just the spirit on me, and I'm telling my rib, what I'm saying, which my rib is is slowly trying to understand the concept of Isaiah 4:1. And I'm telling her, I'm like, in the future, you ain't gonna be the only woman, and you're gonna need to accept that if you believe in the scriptures. This is something that you gotta accept, and for the most part, she like, I understand, but the spirit was on me to talk to her about that and, tell her like, hey, this is what's about to happen as we're seeing everything collapse. The men are going to get drafted to war. The systems are going to collapse, and then the men that aren't drafted to war and the men that are left, they're going to be marauders going around raping and pillaging. So, the Lord is going to hide His men. As a matter of fact, I'm going to start off with that. I'm going to go to the book of Psalms, the 25th chapter. Where is it at? It's 27. My bad. I said this is Psalms 27:5, and it says, "For in the time of trouble he shall hide me in his pavilion. In the secret of the tabernacle he shall hide me and set me upon a rock." All right. So the Lord is going to hide us from all of this trouble. A lot of us are going to get hidden. Some of us, we're going to be martyrs for the Lord. You know what I'm saying? But, for the most part, a lot of us are going to be hidden from these things that are happening. And brothers have spoke about this in the past. Like, you could be in a house in a neighborhood and ICE or the National Guard or whoever can be raiding. And the Lord could put a force field around your house and they don't even see you. They don't even see your house there. You see, we don't know how the Lord is going to do it because, spiritual powers are coming back and miracles are coming back, like real miracles that people can't explain away. All right. And as the elder Kazak said in his video, you're going to have women that are going to put aside their differences and they're going to be flocking trying to find that one man, not a bunch of men, because they're going to know there's not any value in having, having a group of men trying to protect, because the spirit is going to be on the Lord's elect men. Okay, that single elect man that was out on the highways and byways and stood stiffly and did his videos and was charitable and all these different things that man did, the Lord is going to stand by that man, okay? And he's going to protect that man. So I'm going to read this again in the NIV, and it says, one thing I ask from the Lord, verse 5, it says, "For in the day of trouble, he will keep me safe in his dwelling. He will hide me in a shelter of his sacred tent and set me upon a rock." All right. So when we think about, Isaiah 4:1, and we think about, women wanting all of these men, there's a reason why. It's not going to be like, oh, all of a sudden the women going to be like, oh, Frankie, sing to me. You're so fun. No, it ain't going to be like that. It's going to be a thing of survival. Okay, they're gonna know instinctively. And the elder brother, said a story. And brother, if you come across this video, Salakia, about telling your vague story, vaguely your story before, you put it out there. But the elder brother was telling a story about how when he did camp yesterday, there was this woman just staring him down. And at the end of the day, she was just like, man, the something came over me and told me that you were my husband. you know? And that's the sentiment that's going to happen. You're going to get women that are going to just, the spirit is going to come over them to say, you be with that man. As a matter of fact, I was having premonitions that scourges of women will have dreams that will tell them to come to a certain place, and the Lord will tell me, hey, go here and pick these people up. And not just women, but, other Israelites, Israelites that, believed, but they weren't able to, really get fully submersed in it. The Lord might give them a dream and tell them to go to a place, like he did Peter, Peter, what he said, what the Lord has cleansed, right? He might, do something like that. We don't know, but hey, the scriptures say what is done shall be done. So it could happen, right? And you may get scourges of women, and the Lord may put an image of you in their head and say, hey, that's my man, that's my husband. And all of their womanly differences, because you got to realize that the women fighting with one another, that's a curse that the Lord put on our women. Okay, not to be able to get along with one another, but the Lord is removing these curses. So as we come into Isaiah 4 and 1, women ain't gonna have the same mindset as they did before. It's happening right now with the women. As we're seeing on these podcasts, we're seeing more and more women being rejected by men, right? But these men that are rejecting them, these women ain't about nothing anyway. But these men that are rejecting them are starting to set a precedent to show who's really valuable, the man or the woman. Okay? To show who's really valuable, the man or the woman. Okay? And it's not going to be every man. It's going to be the elect men of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Those are the men that's going to have the true value. Okay? So, what's that precept that I had? Isaiah. No, it's like it. Yeah, Isaiah 32 and 2, and it says, a man shall be in hiding place from the wind, and a covert from the tempest, which tempest is, is a destroying wind. When it says a covert for the wind, it means a destroying wind, and it says, as rivers of water in a dry place, as a shadow of a great rock in a weary land. And what did the Lord say in the book of Psalms 27? It said that I will set him upon a rock. Okay, so there's a correlation between these scriptures that show that the Lord is going to make a man of the Lord solid and valuable in that day. And these women, as a brother said at camp, he said the woman seen his value. Something spoke to her and said, hey, this is a man of the Lord. Okay? And that's going to happen in scourges of women. Scourges of women are going to be like that. You're gonna have your pick of the litter. Okay? And even if there are other men out there, the women ain't going to choose them. They're not going to pick them. They would rather pick you, right? They would rather pick you than pick another man, a random dude out in the street. And this dude could be attractive. He can seem like, even in that day that he got it together, these women still going to pick you. Why? Because it's going to be a different spirit in the world. And it's not going to be about wealth. It's not going to be about status or looks. It's going to be about survival. Okay? It's going to be about survival. And they're going to choose the man that they're going to be more likely to survive with. And who is that? That's a man of the Lord. Okay? All right. And these are classic scriptures that I'm bringing out. This is Isaiah 12 and 32. Slakia. My bad. I'm always a little bit dyslexic sometimes. Isaiah 13 and 12. Okay. So it says, I'm going to start at 11. And it says, and I will punish the world for their iniquity. So I will punish the world for their evil and the wicked for their iniquity. And I will cause the arrogancy of the proud to cease. The Edomite, his pomp. He's going to bring his pomp down low. and lay low the haughtiness of the terrible. And that's what's happening right now with what we see, his systems and all this good stuff. And it says, and I will make a man more precious than fine gold, even a man than the golden wedge of Ophir. So this is not talking about every man. This is talking about the elect man of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. That man is going to be more precious than anything on earth. Okay? There's not going to be nothing more valuable than that man. And these women are going to see that. All right? So let's go to Isaiah 4:1. And let's read it. And it says, and in that day, 7 women, which that word 7 goes into completion. So it could be 2, it can be 5, it can be, 50. It just depends on, what the Lord deems that you can handle. Okay. And it says, and in that day, 7 women shall take hold of one man, saying, we will eat our own bread, we will wear our own apparel. Only let us be called by thy name to take away our reproach. All right. Now, a lot of these women are going to be seeking to be pregnant by you. A lot of them just going to want to be with you just so they can carry your name. They may be too old to be pregnant. I mean, we may get some like that. We may get some that are crippled, but then we may not. Okay. We may get, all able-bodied women, some fairly attractive, some not. But you're going to get some women that's going to want to carry your child, because what the scripture says. It says, all right, so this is 1 Timothy 2:15. It says, notwithstanding, she will be saved in childbearing if they continue in the faith and charity and holiness with sobriety. So you're going to get women who are going to want to, bear children in this time. They're not going to give a fuck that all hell breaking loose, because they're going to understand that women are, a lot of women, they're gonna even a lot of these black women that's gonna be trampled on. They're gonna be the most humblest of them all when all this hell break loose, but they're gonna be seeking to have a child, because if you be a man of the Lord and the Lord is with you, and you're pregnant with their child and they believe, that's a surefire way of them getting in. You see, so a lot of these women, they're gonna want to have your kid, Some of them just going to steadfastly believe and just going to want to serve you, do whatever they need to do, So, this Isaiah 4:1 thing, it's going to be a thing of value. Who's the most valuable? So you can take all these women and put all these women on a scale, and then take a man of the Lord and put him on the other balance, and he's going to tip the scale, even if you have all of them, because he's more valuable, more precious than all of them. All right, to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, and they're going to know that, okay? Because women for so long have been given, a pass to do whatever the hell they want, and look what they've done with the authority that they've been given. You see? So when Isaiah 4:1, which is right around the corner, happens, right? The men of the Lord are going to be hard to find, and they're going to be hidden, hard to find. Salakia. And they're going to be choosing. Well, they're going to be harder to find, and they may even be harder to accept you. You see? So, we're going to have our pick of the litter in that day. Isaiah 4:1 is going to really be a 180 in the comeuppance of women, because they're going to finally see that they never really had the power in the first place. You know what I'm saying? Okay? And the Lord is going to protect his child. I'm going to get one more, because this is going to be evident too. All right. Let me put it here. This is Isaiah 65:13. It says, therefore thus saith the Lord, behold, my servants shall eat, but you shall be hungry. Behold, my servants shall drink, but you shall be thirsty. Behold, my servants shall rejoice, but you shall be ashamed. Okay? Behold, my servant shall sing for joy of heart, but you shall cry for sorrow of heart, and shall howl for vexation of spirit. You see? So, they're going to notice this. They're going to notice the joy and the eating and the laughter of the men of the Lord. They're going to notice all that. They're going to see the bright and vibrant spirit in destructive times. You know what I'm saying? They're going to see that. These women are going to see that. They're going to see it on you. A bright and vibrant spirit. They're going to see it on you. Okay? And they're going to want to be a part of it. And it's going to start now. All right? We're not talking about, months and months and months. No, this is about to start happening now. Okay? Women are about to do a complete 180 on how they view relationships. Salakia, my phone is tripping. Women are about to do a complete 180 on how they view relationships with men. Okay? Because they're going to have to. This war is not stopping. All right? This war is not going away. Okay? That's why the scriptures say, how you women, you careless ones, strip you and make you bare. So all they shall lament for the teeth. So all of these things are coming to pass in a big way. And you have a lot of women that see it. They see the writing on the wall. They understand that, hey, this thing is about to go down, and they're gonna need a man. Okay? There's no more police protection. You see what happened to that white woman, who got shot in the face 3 times by ICE. Who stopped him from doing that? Okay? And even in that day, the only thing that's really going to protect the men is the spiritual powers, or the spiritual hedge the Lord put on his men. Okay? So, hey, it's about to be a free-for-all, boys. Even the least desirable, or the one that think he's the least desirable, you're going to be desired, man. You're going to be desired by a lot. Okay? So with that, I'm going to end this lesson off by giving all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh Ba'Shem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'Shem the Karkadash. Double honors to the elders and the apostle, great male son to Nick Samaki, Masay Shalom.